Hi, so today I'm going to be doing part 2 of the videos on all that we've talked about this year. So first we're going to talk about the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire began as many independent kingdoms in Iran. Cyrus controlled Anatolia and Mesopotamia. Cambyses conquered Egypt temporarily. Persia had 23 provinces. Satrap was a provincial governor who used inspectors and spies. The royal road was a trade route across Persia. It was 60,000 miles long, with posts 15 miles apart. The religion in Persia was Zoroaster. Zoroaster is like good and evil forces fighting for your soul. The beginning of Greece. Greece is in the Balkan Peninsula with many mountains. Greece became a great sea power, which led to cultural diffusion. It was difficult to unite Greece. The Minoans and the Achaeans, also known as the Mycenaeans, were the first to live in Greece. The Minoans ended for an unknown reason. Homer was a blind poet, and he wrote the tales of Gilgamesh. The Trojan War. In the Trojan War, Achaeans banded together to attack Troy in the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. The Dark Ages. During the Dark Ages, Dorians invaded, which disrupted trade and growth. Many Greeks migrated to Asia Minor, and they had a monarchy at the time. And next we're going to be talking about Athens. So Acropolis is a hilltop fortress that was used for meetings and worship. The rulers who progressed Athens from a monarchy to a direct democracy, from monarchy to a tyranny to a direct democracy, were Dracos, and he made a codified legal system. Solon, who ended debtors' prison and made land distribution. Then there was Pisistratus, who lessened noble privileges. And then there was Cleisthenes, who made the first assembly. And then there was Pericles, who made an assembly for everyone. Only free native-born Greeks could be citizens. So next is Sparta. Sparta was landlocked in Laconia. The Dorians settled in there and enslaved the original inhabitants, who were called Helots. Sparta was a military state to control the slaves. The council was 23 elders who advised the kings. They had a dual monarchy. The assembly was Spartan citizens who could approve decisions. The 5 ephors administrated the city. The individual existed for the state. Each polis shared the same gods and culture and fear of Persia. Politics were the major difference. So the Persian Wars. First, Persia conquered Greek city-states in Asia Minor. Then, Miletus revolted against the Persians. Athens tried to fight but was defeated. The king of Persia swore revenge on Athens. Next, Persia attacked Greece at the Marathon but was defeated. Athens built a new fleet in case of future attacks. Next, Xerxes invaded Greece. The Spartans tried to delay the Persians but were defeated. Athens fled to Salinas Island with a new fleet. The Persians burned and looted Athens. But they were defeated at the Strait of Salinas. Athens became the leading city-state of Greece. So the Athenian Empire, which had a Hellenic culture. So delegates from each city-state met at the island of Delos to form an alliance against Persia. Athens dominated the Delian League. Larger cities supplied ships. Smaller cities paid tribute. Athens rebuilt Parthenon. Artisans from all over Greece went to Athens for work. The height of democracy was under Pericles. So the Peloponnesian War. Some Greek city-states feared and resented Athens. Corinth formed the Peloponnesian League. Sparta besieged Athens, which led for 27 years. This led to disease, and all Greece was weakened by the wars. So the Macedonian Conquest. Philip II respected and studied Greek culture. Philip defeated Athens at Thebes and conquered Greece. Philip was assassinated, so Alexander the Great got the throne. Alexander the Great conquered all of Persia. A power struggle occurred after he died. The empire was divided into thirds. Ptolemy got Egypt, Seleucus got Asia Minor and the Fertile Crescent, Antiochus got Greece. Alexander spread Hellenistic culture. Hellenistic culture is a blend of Greek culture with cultures from the Middle East and Asia Minor. So the geography of Rome. Rome is in the Italian peninsula near the Mediterranean Sea. This provided protection from invasion and acted as a highway for conquest and trade. The Alps to the north provided protection from invasion. The Po River provided rich, fertile soil for the northern plains. The Apennines were mountains, but they weren't a serious barrier for trade. The Tiber River produced food and transportation and protection. So the people. The Latins founded Rome. The Etruscans seized Rome and ruled for 600 years. They taught the Romans architecture, road building, irrigation systems, and the alphabet. The Roman Republic. So the Romans overthrew the Etruscans and created a republic that had 400 or 500 years. City-states were developed into a world power. The social classes were patricians, plebeians, and slaves. The Senate was 300 patricians for life who decided on domestic and foreign policy. The councils were 2 patricians chosen by the Senate who controlled the army and enforced the law, and they could what's the word I was looking for? They could veto each other. The assembly were plebeians who approved the councils, but they didn't really have much power. A dictator was elected in times of crisis by the Senate. His power was absolute, but he could only hold power for 6 months, and after that they had to stop. Changes in government. Plebeians demanded more power and in government. The Assembly of Centuries was made by, it was made up of the Roman army, and it included both plebeians and patricians. They passed laws and elected consuls. The Assembly of Tribes were plebeians who selected tribunes to select them in the Senate, to represent them in the Senate, I mean. The 12 Tables were the first written legal code for Rome. It protected Roman citizens from arbitrary treatment. It introduced the right to face your accuser and that you're innocent until proven guilty. At first, only patricians could join the army, but plebeians eventually were able to join when the need for it increased. All landowners had to serve. They were well trained and disciplined, and a legion of 6,060 men. So the Punic Wars. Carthage and Rome were commercial rivals. Rome had a strong army, and Carthage had a strong navy. From the First Punic War, Rome gained Sicily, Sardinia, and Corsica. In the Second Punic War, Hannibal led an army across the Alps, and Rome roamed Italy for 5 years, destroying towns. The Roman army landed in North Africa. Romans won the Battle of Zane. Rome gained Spain and said that Carthage couldn't wage war. In the Third Punic War, Carthage went to war with Numidia, and Rome invaded Carthage and burned down the city. So expansion. Gaul, North Africa, Asia Minor, the Balkan Peninsula, also known as Castland, were Roman. Conquered territories were organized into provinces. The Senate chose governors for each province to collect taxes, organize defenses, and administer justice. Rome didn't try to change their culture. Provinces benefited from trade with Rome. This brought Rome into contact with Hellenistic culture and increased trade, and also wealth for many. Surpluses of grain caused prices to fall, so many small farms went out of business. Rich Romans bought all the small farms. There was an increase in slaves, which took jobs from the plebeians. Slave revolts increased. Urban migration occurred, and as the landless poor needed jobs. So there were some reforms. Tiberius Gracchus attempted to limit the size of estates and redistribute land to the poor. Gaius Gracchus attempted to make grain more accessible to the poor and increase Roman citizenship. Both were murdered by mobs of the wealthiest senators. The poorer classes increased the instability of the empire, and the Roman army had to put down the riots. Military dictators. Marius and Sulla fought for control in the Civil War. They recruited landless poor for their armies who would be loyal to their generals, not to Rome. Sulla won and was elected dictator. The first triumvirate included Crassus, Julius Caesar, and Pompey. There was a rivalry between Caesar and Pompey. The Senate supported Pompey. Caesar defeated Pompey at Rome, which was not Pompey at the time, and was elected dictator formally. He redistributed land to the poor, extended citizenship to provinces, used corruption, and they called it building projects. He was assassinated on the Ides of March. The second triumvirate included Octavian Caesar, Mark Antony, Lepidus, and Antony and Caesar went to war. Caesar won, defeating the Egyptians as well. Due to, they're really, anyway. Then there's Pax Romana. So Augustus' rule started 200 years of peace and prosperity. The number of citizens increased. Roads and water systems were built. The empire was united through Roman laws. There were 5 good emperors. Christianity spread to the lower classes of the Roman Empire because they believed in equality in the afterlife. Christians were persecuted by Rome. Constantine converted to Christianity. Theodosius made Christianity the official religion of Rome. So, cause for the decline of Rome. So, there's corruption, and the size of the empire made governing difficult. Roman wars stopped bringing in profit. Civil wars stopped loyalty and pride, and they made it more corrupt. Rivalry over succession led to civil wars. There's a lack of effective emperors. Cities had high crime rates. Inflation increased prices. Wealthy patricians bought all the small farms, and they made walls around their land, and the plebeians went there for protection. This kind of set the seed for feudalism. And the peasants gave up their land for protection. The decline of Rome, official, I mean. So Diocletian divided the empire in half to make it easier to govern. Constantine built a new capital at Constantinople, and the east continued to grow and prosper, but the west fell. In 476, Odoacer captured Rome. Okay, so I hope that helped. Thank you.